I recently completed a $10,000 client website project for a coaching and consulting business, and I tracked every single minute that I spent on it. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how much time I spent on each major stage of the project, from the client onboarding and strategy to copywriting, design, revisions, and launch. Hey, I'm Danbee. I'm a web design mentor, and I help web designers build profitable and inclusive businesses without overworking. To get started with my programs for free, head over to danbeeshin.com/training. This project was for my friend Yvonne Durand, who is a certified coach and HR consultant based here in Switzerland. She works with both individuals and organizations, and she offers career coaching, resume reviews, online courses, and HR consulting. She came to me wanting a professional website that reflected the depth of her experience and the quality of her services, build trust with new clients, and also clearly communicate all the different ways that people can work with her. She also wanted a website that would help her get new clients through SEO instead of having to rely solely on social media, which is what she was doing. And based on all of this, we agreed that my signature package would be a good fit, and that includes strategy, branding design, copywriting, and a Squarespace website. This project ran really smoothly with no major stress or endless revisions. It felt like a fair exchange with the client, and as a designer, I felt appreciated and fairly compensated. But it wasn't always like this. So if you're undercharging for your work and dragging out projects just to accommodate your clients, I see you. I've been there, and I remember how anxious I used to feel in that position. But things improved dramatically when I started changing some very specific things in how I work with my clients, and I'm gonna share this with you throughout the rest of this video. The first stage in this project was client onboarding, and the first thing I did was set up a new project in Dubsado, which is the tool that I use to set up things like contracts, invoices, and questionnaires. It just keeps the paperwork side of things simple and streamlined. Then I planned out the entire project timeline and created a client-facing version of that plan in Asana. That's the tool that I use to keep everything organized with all the tasks, links, and due dates, all clearly laid out so that my client always knows what is happening and what's coming next. To help Yvonne get oriented, I also recorded a short video walkthrough showing her the project plan and also how to use Asana. So Yvonne got all of that before we started the project, and then we kicked off the project with a brand interview. This is where I interview my clients so that we can get clear on the strategy of the website, and also so that I can get all the information that I need to write strong, strategic, conversion-focused copy for my clients. After the interview, I created a detailed project brief outlining the scope, key requirements, and objectives of the website project, basically the strategy that we discussed and agreed on. And Yvonne reviewed and signed off on this project brief before we moved on to the next stage, which is the brand kit design. And this one document kept us focused and aligned from day one. The onboarding process is one of the biggest changes that I've made to how I work with my clients, and it's honestly made such a big difference. I used to skip so much of what I just described to you, and that would lead to a lot of misunderstandings, delays in the project, and just a lot of unnecessary stress. Now I set clear expectations from the very beginning and get the client's buy-in through the project plan and the project brief, and this has made my projects run so much more smoothly. I've also completely stopped asking my clients to send me written website content. Now I just gather all the information that I need through a structured brand interview. It's faster, it's more focused, and honestly, it just leads to better website copy. This whole client onboarding process, from the Dubsado setup to the signed off project brief, took about 9 hours total. The second stage was the brand kit design, and that involved designing the logo and choosing the brand font and colors. Once it was ready, I recorded a walkthrough video presenting the brand kit to Yvonne using a homepage mockup. So I basically created a skeleton homepage with placeholders for text and images so that Yvonne could see what the brand kit would look like when it was applied to her website. This part of the project did come with a few bumps, and I had to remind myself that this was completely normal. Not every client is going to instantly love everything that I designed for them. In this case, the revision process was quite challenging because Yvonne's feedback wasn't always tied to her audience or her business goals or the objectives that we'd laid out in the project brief. She leaned a lot towards personal preferences. So, for example, she asked for changes to be made to the logo to make it look more like her old logo, which broke a lot of design rules, and suggested color changes that didn't really align with the strategy that we had agreed on. After some frustrating back and forth messages in Asana, we ended up having a phone call that was very candid. It was quite uncomfortable, but we got to chat out the rationale, the reasoning behind our opinions, which had gotten lost in our written messages. And that honestly gave me the clarity that I needed to move forward and find a middle ground with the revisions. In the end, Yvonne loved the updated brand kit and quickly approved it. This didn't cause any delays in our project timeline, which I was really happy about. Getting and responding to client feedback can be really stressful and emotionally draining, even if you have a great relationship with the client. Earlier in my career, I used to just give the client whatever they wanted. I mean, they say customer is king, right? I avoided difficult and confrontational conversations because I just didn't think it was worth the discomfort or the risk of ruining my relationship with the client. But I learned the hard way that when I ignore the strategy and just go along with my client's preferences, the end result usually flops. It doesn't support my client's goals, and it's not work that I can proudly stand behind. It's a waste of time for everyone. So now I do my best to explain the thinking and rationale behind my design decisions and guide the client through a solution that actually supports their business goals. And I have found that having those conversations actually builds more trust and strengthens my relationships with my clients because my clients appreciate that I genuinely care about their success and start seeing me as someone they can come to for advice. This brand kit design stage, from the initial research I did all the way to when I got the final designs approved, took about 11 hours. The third stage of the project was copywriting, and for me, this is always the most time-consuming part of any website project, but I love it, and it usually goes super smoothly thanks to the work I've done with the brand interview and the website copywriting templates that I use for every project. I just need to sit down and start filling out the templates. My absolute favorite website copywriting templates are from my friend Megan Elliott's copywriting course, Strongly Brewed Websites. Over the years, I've tried so many different kinds of website copy templates, but these are the ones I find the most effective and easy to use, and they really speed up my writing process. I'm a proud affiliate of Strongly Brewed Websites. I just cannot recommend it enough, especially if you're writing copy for service-based businesses. If you want to check it out, my affiliate link is danbeeshin.com/templates. Yvonne's website had quite a bit of content. Here are all the pages that I wrote copy for. Her homepage, about page, her work with me page, sales pages for Yvonne's main career coaching offer, her course on nailing job interviews, her voicemail consults and services for organizations, also her newsletter opt-in page and contact page. I think that was most of it. I spent about half my time writing the messy first draft and then the other half editing and tightening things up, making sure that it all sounded like it was truly in Yvonne's voice. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest changes that I've made to my process is to stop relying on my clients to provide the written content and instead include copywriting in all of my packages. My clients writing their own copy was almost always the source of project delays. It was a ton of work that they weren't really interested in and just very frustrating for me. It did take me some time to feel confident positioning myself as a professional copywriter. I mean, I'm a mechanical engineer by training, but I invested in developing conversion-focused copywriting skills, and it completely changed how I work with my clients. If you can relate to any of this, I made a separate video about why I think every web designer should at least consider writing website copy for their clients. I'll link to that here. Oh, and this entire copywriting stage took about 24 hours. The fourth stage was actually building the website. So pulling together the design, the copy, all the functionality into a Squarespace website. I'm also including in this stage all the preparation work I did with images for the website. So picking out photos from Yvonne's branding photo shoot, sourcing stock photos, and creating mockups for her online courses and other products. And besides building out the pages and setting up the blog and things like that, this stage also includes things like making sure everything was responsive and working well on mobile, creating legal pages with things like privacy policies, disclaimers, etc., creating the 404 page, adding meta titles and descriptions, and writing alt text for images, adding the fave icon and open graph image, like all the things that go into actually creating a website. I'm also including in this stage the time that it took me to test the website, so making sure that all the buttons, the links, the forms, the integrations, that they all worked exactly how they should. And altogether, the stage took about 19 hours, which is not bad at all considering the amount of content that this website had. At this point in the project, most designers just send their client a link to the staging website and hope for the best. And I used to do that too, but I noticed that this led to a frustratingly slow revision process. Now I have a much better approach that gets my clients truly excited and engaged and cuts down on revisions, so I will cover that next. Next is the website presentation and revision stage. Once the website was built and tested, I got on a call with Yvonne to walk her through the whole website. I focused on helping her see the website the way one of her ideal clients would. I followed the exact same structure that I cover in my video about how to present a website to a client. I will link to that in case you want to check it out. In the early days of my business, I didn't do the presentation. I wouldn't walk my clients through their website. I would just send them a link and get them to review it in their own time. I did offer an optional call if people wanted to chat things through, but almost no one took me up on it. And I realized that this way of working was really slowing my clients down. One major issue was that reviewing the website just felt like a lot of work for my clients, and probably related to that issue, the other problem was the revision requests I was getting were focusing on really granular details, and I got the feeling that my clients were having trouble seeing the bigger picture, focusing on the big picture strategy. Once I started guiding my clients through a structured presentation and showing them the thinking and the rationale behind every design decision, things changed completely. I could see that my clients were truly excited and enthusiastic about their websites, and often I barely got any revision requests at all. And that's exactly what happened here. Yvonne immediately understood how this final website delivered on all of the objectives that we'd been discussing from the very beginning, and we only had a few small edits and the website was ready to launch. This whole process, including the time that it took me to prepare for the presentation, took about 4 hours. The next stage was launching the website and offboarding the client. Yvonne and I got on a call and we launched the website together. And after that, I gave her a personalized training so that she could make changes to her own website going forward. I always give my clients full control over their website. This is a hill that I will die on. My clients can always reach out to me if they want my help, but that should be because they want to work with me, not because I'm the only person with the technical permissions to make changes to their websites. After the launch call, I followed up with a detailed offboarding email, mainly to make sure that Yvonne had access to all the links, files, and information that she might want from our project. And this email also included a link to my feedback form and an invitation to join my referral network. Yvonne filled out my feedback form right away and left me a glowing testimonial. Here's a little bit of what she said. "You went above and beyond, Danbee. Seeing my content so carefully curated on my new website is an incredible feeling. Your process was seamless and required so little of my time. What an amazing journey as your client. Your talent, efficiency, insightful questions, and thoughtful follow-ups made this possible. You've perfectly captured me, my business, and my vibe in such an authentic way. The result feels truly me, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you." This is always my favorite part of a project, seeing how my clients feel about their websites and businesses after all of the work is done. I offer all of my clients 2 weeks of email support after we launch their websites, and in this case, we ended up using that time mostly to fix some minor issues we ran into with a new cookie consent solution that I had not used before. Unlike the vast majority of my clients, Yvonne is actually in the same country, the same region even that I'm in. So we were able to celebrate the end of this successful project in person. We met up for dinner at a Korean restaurant with our husbands, and it was the perfect way to wrap up a wonderful project. This launch and offboarding stage, not including the dinner, took about 5 hours. So if we add everything up, this entire project took me about 71 hours. I'm curious to hear whether that's in line with what you would expect from a project like this, whether you would have expected a $10,000 project to take longer or less time. Tell me in the comments. To sell and deliver this 10K project, I followed the exact process that I teach in my course, the Fast Track System. This course also covers the sales process, which comes before the client onboarding and wasn't something I had time to cover in this video. But you can actually watch the recording of my sales call with Yvonne if you're enrolled in the Fast Track System. FTS in Action is a bonus guide included in the course, and it gives you behind-the-scenes access to every single step I took in this project. You'll see real client calls, my project plan for Yvonne, the project brief, the brand kit, the copy documents, literally all the nitty-gritty details and all the files that I used from start to finish to create this website for Yvonne. I created FTS in Action to show you what a real client project actually looks like. The calls are not scripted, it's not super polished, but this is real life and it's what we work with as freelance web designers. You can learn more about the Fast Track System at danbeeshin.com/fast. If you found this video helpful, I have another video that you might enjoy. This one's about offering an alternative to full-scale website projects. I cover how to start offering paid website audits, even if you've never done one before. It's one of the easiest ways to build trust with new clients and even guide them toward bigger projects down the line. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you there.